It's September 17th. It's approximately 8:07 p.m. Back out here in Rosemont again, working. And the protesters are still out. They're still going strong. And regardless to what was put on the front page of the Sun-Times, I think it was yesterday, they had a whole front cover page of like a screenshot of Kenneka walking through the kitchen. And like I said, without them officially saying it, they're trying, just by putting that in the paper, these slick motherfuckers is trying to make it sound like, okay, case is solved. And like I said in my previous video, I ain't buying it. I'm not going for it. There's more and more evidence that them tapes been tampered and edited, and people are catching it. And I guess that's one of the amazing things about the internet itself, as well as social media. See, when these people tell lies, they always leave leaks and cracks and loopholes, and people are able to catch it before they clean it up. Okay? And this is the reason why under the previous presidential administration, the Obamas, they passed this law and signed off about the internet being taken over by a private company. And there's people that are in other countries, such as China and a couple of other places, where they kind of like giving them control over the entire internet. And why would they even do that for a country that's supposed to be as notoriously known for human rights violations and censorship? But a lot of people in this particular case, getting back to home, a lot of people are catching a lot of things. A lot of people are seeing a lot of things that once the media releases certain things, they left loopholes and, you know, little leaks and cracks and stuff and pieces of evidence that they're showing to the public. And people are catching this stuff and putting it out there. But there's also a smear campaign, most notably not launched and being fulfilled by our own black people. And that's sad. That's sad. You know, we God's chosen people, the Negro. Even Adolf Hitler knew that shit, okay? We God's chosen people. And for these niggas that's out here, that's doing everything to keep us held back, and like I said, keep us submissive for somebody else, you know, I hope y'all get what the fuck y'all deserve, you know, because y'all play that shit, talk that shit. When you're in the hood around a bunch of black folks, you got your fist pumped up, you're wearing the red, black, and green, nice the motherfucking purple. And then when you ain't behind closed doors and shit, you know, you being instructed on how to keep your people fucked up and disarrayed and off tempo and off beat and shit with anything that can keep us unified, you know. But it's good to see the protesters are still out. It's going to be a whole lot more things coming out. You know, you got people, you know, the activists has already been exposed and shit already, but it's going to be more things that come out. One of the particular things, this one guy was saying that was arrested along with one of the people that was in the room that night, he made a slight statement about this organ harvesting thing. And about 3 years ago, there was a man that had a Detroit-based business that was harvesting body parts. And when they seized the paperwork from the office, it led them to another office right here in Rosemont. And it's on YouTube. you know? So, not saying 100%, but damn, that's too much of a coincidence. I'm not saying 100%, but that's a big thing. But if that's connected to this case, and somebody get ready to put that out, or they do put it out, now you kind of treading on shit that's above and beyond the street level, and motherfuckers might start coming up missing and dead. But fuck that. The truth is the truth. It needs to be put out. It needs to be exposed. The best way to fight a conspiracy is to expose it. That's the best way to fight a conspiracy. And like I said, you know, a lot of you sellout ass niggas that's out here whose mission is to keep us off tempo and off balance. For example, if the battle cry is stop police brutality, then you got a nigga coming along talking about black on black crime. Them the type of niggas y'all gotta start watching out for. Any motherfucker that goes against what the truth people are seeking, them is the motherfucking niggas that you got to keep one eye on. And in some cases, both motherfucking eyes. But I use that as an example. You know, anything that goes against what the vast majority of the norm, and then some nigga just come start talking about some off the wall ass shit, them the motherfuckers you gotta watch. But I hope that, you know, a whole lot more comes out that proves that this girl was murdered, and that it just wasn't no regular kind of negligence, that she was drunk and high and walked into a freezer and ended up dying. You know, there are people and organizations and things that can really cover up the truth, but you can't hide that shit. That's just like, you know, people talking about Martin Luther King, how he got assassinated, and President Kennedy and all them. You know, even after all these years, there's new evidence and new things coming out that proves that what the history books had written just was not fucking true. So even in this case, and it's not nothing compared to any of the two people I just mentioned, but the most important thing is that a young lady lost her life, okay? And then you got, even after her death, you got people out here, black folks, that's just fucking perpetrating and fronting. You know what I'm saying? And ever since that mother exposed one of the activists, the main one, I think it was, I can't remember his name, Andrew Holmes. Ever since she came out and put that out, I have not heard shit in the last 3 days from that man. I have not heard nothing from that man. Now, he was on the spot. Every video that was just about came out where they was talking about trying to get facts and dealing with the police, he was on it and in it and had something to say. Since the mother came out and exposed him for what he is, I have not heard shit from him. Nothing. So, you know, it's time that if we don't wake up, you know, our very existence is at stake. You know, it's a whole lot going on in the world. We can't stay too focused on this because it is a lot. And a lot of times when things like this happen, you know, the powers that be is doing other kind of shit in the background. You know, while we all focused on one thing, they doing all kind of other shit on the other side of the table. So, I mean, it is important to keep an eye out, you know, stay updated and let you know what kind of crooked ass people is out here. But at the same time, there's still a lot of other things happening in the world that we need to be focused on, because I truly believe that a lot of it has to do with us as black people. Period. You know? And I think there's a lot of people on the other side that know that as well. That's why so much shit happening with us. So, you know, keep your prayers up. You know, for those that's in the conscious community, that's the handful that's left, because that shit been infiltrated too. You know, find some ways to make your prayer altars for this young girl, and so she can get some energy to deal with this shit from the other side. So that's all I got to say about that. They still protesting. It's September 17th. It's about 8 o'clock, and they holding up pretty good. And as far as I'm concerned, they doing a damn good job, because the hotel is losing money. I still see a lot of people coming in there to visit. A lot of people probably, you know, made reservations months or weeks in advance. And, you know, they got to, you know, get their money out of what they invested in for a weekend or whatever. But they are putting a financial hurting on this hotel. And it ain't no real large group of protesters, but, you know, they getting it done. And then, like I said, for one of the activists to come out and say, stand down, and tell the people to stand down because they losing money, I'm like, that's some straight up sellout shit right there. So y'all keep your head up, and you know, for the protesters that's out there, because I drive by there, but I don't stop out there to protest with them. But, you know, much props to y'all, man, men and women. Much props to y'all. Keep it up, and don't stop until justice is served for this girl and her family. That's all I got to say for tonight.